One of the best ways to improve your website's rankings online is to increase your domain authority. Yes, domain authority is not out of date yet. It's still a major ranking factor, and you can fact check this on any of the big SEO thought leader websites like Moz. These ranking factors, domain authority, is so important to get your website ranked high. We get calls all the time from people who have done everything they needed to do with their content, right? Their on-page content, their blog posts, the quality of their meta titles, descriptions, their on-page SEO is set up perfectly, their technical SEO is set up perfectly, their website's loading fast, and yet they call us and they go, why is my Google Maps listing tanking? Or why is my organic SEO results just going like this all the time? And one of the number one factors when you pull audits, I mean, it's crazy. Whenever you're wondering, like, why is my competitor consistently outranking me? I was going to say it's not usually a content problem, it's a domain authority problem, but content bleeds into domain authority, which I'll explain. So what I want to go over is how do you increase this vital, important factor called domain authority to get your website ranked high on the search engines when you have already the right keywords set up and the right on-page SEO set up on your website? Well, the answer is backlinks, right? And I know you've probably heard this term before. Backlinks are essentially when third-party websites link back to your website. That's why it's called a backlink, okay? So a backlink is someone else on the web mentioning your URL and then linking to your site. So there's a lot of guerrilla marketing tactics that you can follow, street level marketing tactics that don't require a crazy budget, but do require a little bit of courage. And one of the number one ways to get backlinks, in my opinion, is speaking. And a lot of people think that speaking is just about like building your brand or maybe getting some clients if you're lucky, but speaking is also an internet marketing tactic, right? Because when you speak for a local association or a national association, most times like third-party associations are very credible websites. Google knows that they're not going to put out as much iffy information, right? So they trust those websites. And when a credible website links to your website, that's way better than 15 non-credible websites linking to your website. So everyone thinks that getting directory listings to link back to you are this thing that's going to improve your rankings. It's not. As long as you have NAP, consistency, name, address, phone number, consistency on your core directory channels, that's really all you need. And Google can tell the difference between a directory listing, a paid directory listing, and an authentic one-way backlink from sites that don't, openly offer paid opportunities to collaborate on them. So the first tip here is public speaking. And what that looks like, let's just use a quick example for us. For example, we do a lot of marketing for lawyers. It's one niche that we serve in our business. It's one of our biggest niches. And the funny thing is, the same thing that lawyers can do to get backlinks is actually what we do. And that's going to the local bar association in their state and speaking at these bar association events to newer lawyers who are just getting their practices started and giving them tips and advice on how they grew their practice. This is something that every lawyer should be doing in their state's bar association on an annual or a couple time a year basis. But almost nobody does it because they don't know the technical value, the internet marketing value that comes from that, not to mention referrals and relationships in their market. When you speak, here's how you get a backlink. Most times when there's an event at a local association, they'll include a list of all the speakers, right? And on that list, you can request the event organizer to just highlight your name, make it a hyperlink back to your website's homepage, and there you go. You got a backlink from a credible source, from a .org website, which is usually slightly more authority than a .com or .net. The highest being .edu, .gov is the highest, right? If you get a .gov mention, that's very credible. But regardless, a .org and an actual legit local association in your market is going to go way further than a spray and pray backlink approach where you're just shooting out your business's information on 40,000 websites. So that is one of the benefits of public speaking. Now there's another grassroots approach that you can follow, which is called local sponsorships. So local sponsorships look like when you sponsor a local sports organization, let's say a high school football team or something. And on the high school's website, there's going to be a page dedicated to the football team in this example. And if your business sponsors that, you can ask them for a link from their local sports website page on their high school website. And that could be a .edu URL, which is higher quality. And then you get a backlink from that website. Okay? So you can do local sponsorships. You can do speaking at credible associations that then they post on their website who spoke, and then you get a backlink to your website. You can do news, right? News is one of the absolute best ways to get backlinks because you're on such credible platforms. Like for example, if you're to get interview on, let's say, your local news channel, which is a spin-off of a bigger news channel, and they write you could write the article, but an article is written on your behalf summarizing what you talked about while you were on the news, and then that gets put on their blog, and then there's a link at the bottom of that blog to your main website. That will boost up your domain authority through that grassroots backlink approach. But the lightest lifting, the least heavy lifting approach, I believe, is guest blogging, because guest blogging doesn't require the travel, the preparation for speaking, the back and forth to schedule speaking events. So the number one method, in my opinion, to increase domain authority with scale is guest blogging, where you write a very valuable piece of content as a guest contributor to someone, and they then put that on their website. So one way you could do this is you could actually find people, this is a controversial topic, you could find people who are in similar industries to you but not exactly the same, and write them valuable content on their website. Go and email them and say, hey, I wrote this blog. Let's say you're a roofing contractor, right? And you want to rank on this HVAC company's website, heating, ventilation, air conditioning company in your area. Well, what you do is you'd reach out to the HVAC company's marketing director and say, hey, I just wrote this blog on how having a new roof on your house makes your HVAC work better because of the insulation in the new roof, preserving the loss of heat and air conditioning from the roof of the house or whatever. And say, I'd love to post this on your website for free. In exchange, all I ask is that you put a little bio at the bottom of the guest post for the author and say this was the author, and then a link to my website that people can click on and be brought right to the homepage of my website. Very simple. And sometimes authentic manual backlinks like this can go a very long way. And you can also do backlinks through guest posts on just traditional like information-based websites that aren't in your local area that have a high domain authority of 35 to 50, right? It's a great range to be getting backlinks from. It's a scale out of 100. Those are some thoughts on how you can increase your domain authority to increase your Google rankings if you feel like you already have the right keyword strategy, on-page strategy, your website's loading good. So I hope that's valuable. If you did find this valuable, please subscribe to our channel. I know we have a lot of people who watch our videos but don't subscribe. We appreciate every subscriber. It allows us to know that we're doing the right thing, to know what videos people like the most, and to offer you more quality content when you log into YouTube so that you can be notified when we're releasing high value content like this. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and go to smbteam.com if you're looking for a free marketing consultation. Stay great.